You're listening to Montreal Now with Aaron Rand and Natasha Hall on CJAD 800.
I am convinced that we need to fight climate change. I am convinced that the only thing we can do to build a strong economy for the future is protect the environment and fight climate change while putting more money in people's pockets. These are my convictions, and I've continued to be consistent on them over the past 15 years I've been in politics. We look forward to hearing what the Leader of the Opposition believes in, because right now it sure ain't clear.
Woo, he's getting feisty. Let's check in with Jim MENNIE at the Montreal Gazette. What is going on here? I thought we were talking about Trudeau taking a walk in the snow. That didn't sound that way at all.
Yeah, isn't that funny? Isn't that kind of crazy? Like you say, he's sounding kind of feisty. He sounded as if he was in a leaders' debate. He sounded as if he was campaigning, and perhaps
he did.
He is. I get all kinds of. In my day job at the Gazette, I got all kinds of emails from all kinds of places, and I don't know if you guys got a copy, but today, the Liberal Party of Canada announced that the two MPs, Soraya Martinez-Harada of Montreal, Hochelaga, and Terry DeGeet of Winnipeg South, I'm hoping I'm pronouncing that correctly, are co-chairs of the party's national campaign committee for the next federal election.
What?
And of course, and then they add insouciantly whenever it arrives. Yeah, exactly. Here we are. It's November 8th. In the past 10 days, we have seen a very respected, very experienced Liberal senator who used to be chief of staff to Jean Chrétien publicly stating what he claims a lot of the caucus is too scared to say out loud, which is Justin Trudeau should make a decision about his future because right now his numbers are tanking. Canadians seem to be totally fed up with him. And the party will not survive. If the numbers hold true, the party will not survive the election. The party will just be devastated. It will take a very, very long time to rebuild. And he should make up his mind. Now, when he was questioned about this, Trudeau was very dismissive. He said, I just wish him good luck in the work that he's doing. And he was during a quick scrum on his way into question period. All that said, I find today's announcement, as innocuous as it looks, it suggests to me, and don't get me wrong, because I know I hear on the show, I was speaking to insiders and this and that. I never said there was going to be an election this year, but I will say that I do not think it's going to happen in 2025, which is when the next election is scheduled, and when, the deal, the so-called entente cordiale, which ain't so cordial with the NDP, expires. But what I found interesting with today's announcement, okay, we're in November. Well, and you're thinking, and it's so funny because Senator Downey was talking about Trudeau, said he's going to have to let us know by February. Well, he may let you know by February, but I know what else is coming down in February, and that's the initial report by Justice Og on the foreign interference inquiry. So I wouldn't think it impossible, nor indeed unlikely, if come February, if that report turns around and essentially says that these accusations against the Liberals and working with the communist Chinese government or being at the mercy of the Chinese government, if this all proves to be nothing more than ink on a piece of paper that sold a lot of newspapers at one point, I wouldn't be surprised to see Trudeau pull the trigger on an election in May, in the spring of next year. And I would also be, and at that point as well, I don't want to jinx it now, but we're seeing indicators that perhaps the economy is not going to tank as big as we thought it would. And I also think that between now and then, you are going to see so much muck dredged up by the Liberals on the Conservatives, it's not going to be funny. We like to, flutter our hands and go tut-tut when we see the Americans go at each other's throats. I think we're going to see that here, regardless of whether there's going to be an election or not. But I think we are on our way to some kind of crossroads. Personally, I think February is when Mr. Trudeau will give his answer. And just based on his ego, which I'm no fan of Trudeau, but just based on his ego, I think he would rather, how can I put it, drive a Mack truck through the snow than go for a walk in the snow, if you know what I'm saying. Yeah. I think if he's going to leave the party, if he's going to leave politics, it'll be because he was defeated in battle, so to speak. And I'm really getting the conviction that whether we like it or not, we'll be going to the polls next spring.
Well, I mean, certainly hearing that clip, honestly, I haven't heard him like that. I mean, he's like that in little bits in question periods and stuff, but not to that extent. And you feel that fire in him, right? We've long said he wouldn't be able to resist taking on Pierre Poilievre head to head. So maybe
and listen, the guy's an actor, okay? And I mean, listen, if you're a drama teacher, you're an actor, and he knows how can I put it? As perhaps Shakespeare put it better, to frame his face to any occasion, and to be able to do and behave and sound what the moment demands. And I think I still believe people have pulled them aside and said, listen, you're going to have to smarten up because we are going to hit a brick wall and hit it hard because these numbers are not going to fix themselves. I think perhaps part of the strategy is to turn around and become that fiery, more familiar 2015 version of Justin Trudeau, who upset all the experts and threw all the betting tables off because he went from third place to not just first place, fourth place actually, and then to first place and won a majority. Those days may be gone for now, and they may be gone for good. But I just don't see how Justin Trudeau can essentially keep going on foreign trips, having his picture taken, and pretty well stay in neutral and expect to stay in office for much longer. So, I really think that today's innocuous little notice is the first flare of what will be a much larger advance by the party in the months to come.
Well, and May is a sunny time. That's the first thing that went through my head. Now, we're 100% sure that email announcing the federal election campaign heads wasn't a mistake. It wasn't meant for internal purposes only, much like the CAQ one that got leaked today.
That's a great story. For those of you who don't know what we're talking about, the communication, the coordination office of the of Premier Francois Legault of the Quebec government. What they do is they send us all. They usually update the emails and phone numbers for various press attachés in various ministries of the provincial government. What happened today, though, instead of attaching the updated list of press attachés, what it had were the talking points, the scripted talking points for cabinet ministers to reply to issues that are in the news. And the issues that were in the news today are the Quebec City tramway, as well as the
Northvolt,
the update,
and the economic
update, and of course the whole idea. This great story from Radio Canada that said Quebec was so desperate to land Northvolt GM to have them put their factories here. That they didn't insist or didn't even suggest that there be any kind of Quebec content involved in the production process, which they've been catching a lot of flack for today. But you had these you can just say for the economic update, one of them I like is now the minister was quite clear. And remember, everybody's supposed to say this. Now the minister is quite clear. We're never going to cut in government operations or in services to citizens. For the battery industry, Northvolt and other businesses chose Quebec, notably because of our supply chain, and we're proud
of it. Yeah, I've got the same script. I got the script too. And then what do you?
And of course, this happened this morning. So Legault gets it, and to his credit, he laughed about it when he was asked about it. He said, "Well, listen, you guys already know what I'm going to say, right? I'm not going to answer that question." So he made light of it. But listen, before anybody goes, wow, it's the cat. Governments do this all the time. Corporations do this all the time. Whether it's any kind of a controversial issue, I mean, especially in the private sector, if there's something going on and you might be exposed to questions, usually you either have a script given to you or you're told to shut up.
Yeah.
So this is hardly, and I feel sorry. Honestly, I do. I feel sorry for whomever in the office hit the wrong button, hit send. God forbid, anybody who's done that knows that that's not a great feeling. But all that said, it just goes to show you, though, not so much, I think, that of the scripting, Natasha, but there is just so much to defend itself over these days. You can tell we're no longer in a pandemic. Real life is here. And there are any number of questions that are going to get asked to this government any number of days. And the fun, as far as I'm concerned, is only beginning.
I'm so with you, and I enjoyed this far too much. I'm just worried, like we said, Alice Bergeron is the woman who did it, the media relations person. I hope she doesn't lose her job over this, because it is, it's a human error. We all make mistakes.
I got to tell you, it's not in the story, it's not in the report, but afterwards she actually sent out the proper list. And she said, I'm sorry about what happened before. I'll leave it to my boss to decide whether I'm here tomorrow. But in the meantime, I apologize for any inconvenience. And, of course, she gave everybody a story. But I'm not too worried about it. But I think just the cringiness and the stomach acid that she developed in the past 12 hours will be more than enough.
I feel badly for her, but I just really enjoyed that story far too much. I enjoy talking to you every day. Thank you, Jim.
Adamant.